application window, some of the colleges had waived GRE. SOP and LORs are one of the most important things, I think. It takes a lot of time. If you get $1,000 fellowship, you get a out-of-state tuition waiver. I got reject from UT Hostel. Graduate students don't stay on campus. Texas A&M University has a great Indian student community called IGSA, Indian Graduate Students Association. Sometimes on campus में share करना पड़ सकता है. Here it's semi-furnished. अभी भी mind में वो dollar to rupees conversion चालू रहता है. Like a proper resume तो होता है हमेशा, लेकिन इधर पूरा अलग ही फॉर्मेट होता है इधर अप्लाई करते वक्त. ऑन कैंपस के अलावा ऑप्शंस नहीं है, बिकॉज इन यूएस यू कांट वर्क ऑफ कैंपस. Our department also has a separate career fair for only civil engineering companies. US में reference system is one of the most important things.
Hi guys and welcome to College Dunia Study Abroad. Today we are joined by this very interesting candidate who is pursuing his MS in Civil Engineering from Texas A&M University, United States. Hi Saurabh, how are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing great. It's really great talking to you and yeah.
So I would like to mention to my viewers that Saurabh is studying in Texas A&M University. He scored 322 in his GRE and has scored an 8 band in IELTS. So Saurabh, welcome to College Dunia. Can you please give us a little introduction about yourself?
My name is Saurabh Khinvasara. I'm basically from Pune. I have done my diploma and bachelor's in civil engineering. My diploma was from Government Polytechnic Pune, in which I secured 83%. For my bachelor's, I was in Maharashtra Institute of Technology, Pune. I had a CGPA of 8.89 on a scale of 10. After my bachelor's, I always wanted to pursue master's, so I gave the IELTS exam and the GRE exam. I got a GRE score of 322 and an IELTS score of 8.2 band. And currently I'm studying Masters in Civil Engineering with a specialization in Structural Engineering from Texas A&M University.
Okay, so my first question, Saurabh, would be why Texas A&M University only? Did you have other universities in your shortlist as well?
Yeah. So like everyone, I shortlisted about 8 to 10 universities, then I applied to 6 to 7. I got admits from most of my universities. Like I also got admits from Virginia Tech, Purdue, Arizona State. But like I had done my research properly. I knew what field I was interested in, like what was the particular reason why. So Texas is big on bridges and everything, bridges. So I was interested in bridge design, which comes under civil engineering. So the scope is better here, and also I received a fellowship from Texas A&M University, which is why I finalized this university, and it was it was a no-brainer then.
Can you tell our viewers about this fellowship thing, like what it is and what happens in a fellowship?
So basically, the Department of Civil Engineering gives most of its students a fellowship, which is $1,000 fellowship. So the thing is, if you get $1,000 fellowship, you get a out-of-state tuition waiver. So it's like 40% of your fees is reduced. 40 to 50% of your fees is reduced.
Right. And what needs to be get done if somebody wants a fellowship?
So basically, most of the colleges here don't have a different process for scholarships, fellowships, or RATAs. You know the thing. While applying, they ask in the application form itself, like, are you interested in a fellowship? Are you interested in RA position, TA position? So you just have to pick, and based on your application material, like your resume, your LORs, your SOPs, they select it. It's no different process.
Okay, all right. So as Saurabh has already mentioned about his research that gave Texas A&M University an upper hand, meticulous research while you are thinking about studying abroad is very important. And I hope हमारे viewers भी ये approach follow करें, right? So Saurabh, you're pursuing civil engineering. You told us that Texas has a lot of scope when it comes to bridge design, which is your interest.
Yeah, exactly.
So why I would like to ask you as well, why did you only go for civil engineering and why not something else in engineering? What's
So
your
to be honest,
reason behind it?
actually, civil engineering wasn't one of my top choices till very late in my school life. Like till 8th, 9th, I was interested in automobile engineering or software engineering. But I visited in the 8th or 9th grade, I don't remember exactly, I visited Burj Khalifa.
Oh,
And that's the day everything changed. So like
right.
in the lobby of Burj Khalifa, there's a whole display. Like it shows how the construction took place, what all the material and everything, the whole construction process. It changed my view about everything. And it so after the 10th grade, I directly did a diploma in civil engineering. So that's how for my decision was.
Okay, of course. Burj Khalifa is a fascinating building, and it
Yeah.
personally became more fascinating for me because a couple days earlier there was a
Yeah.
display of Cristiano Ronaldo because he has
Oh,
joined that
wow. Yeah. Yeah.
Saudi club Al Nasser, right?
Yeah. Al
So
Nassr, right? Yeah.
yes. So all the football fans out there,
Yeah.
yeah, Cristiano Ronaldo is one of the great players. Anyways, so let's also talk some more about your university shortlisting. Can you tell me
Okay.
some more universities that were there on your list, and what were the basis of shortlisting those universities?
So my basic research was first of all, like everyone, I observed the rankings. And from the rankings, I shortlisted the universities which were really like at least something similar to my focus areas. Like within structural engineering, also there are a lot of different fields I can go in. So like bridge design or computational design or something like that. So I wasn't too interested in other things. I was interested in maybe building design or bridge design, which were the two areas, main areas. And I saw the professors and their research work. I like every college has shows the professors all their research work, the courses which they're teaching. So it's very important that you go through it. Like you shouldn't apply just because of a ranking or just because someone tells you. You should do your proper research, like like that. Yeah.
So
And
what were the
also,
universities?
yeah.
What were the name of these universities जहाँ आपने apply
So So I applied to UT Austin. I applied to Texas A&M University. I applied to UC San Diego. I
किया?
applied to Purdue University. I applied to Virginia Tech, Arizona State University. Yeah,
Okay.
these are the universities I applied to. I got admits into most of them. Yeah,
Okay. Where did you got the admits from?
I got admits from Arizona State, Purdue, Texas A&M, obviously, Virginia Tech. What am I forgetting? Did I say UC San Diego?
No, not.
I got all admits from UC San Diego also.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And what about the rejects? Where did you got the rejects from?
I got reject from UT Austin.
Okay.
That
Okay.
was the only one I got a reject from. Yeah.
Okay. What do you think UT Austin? Why did they rejected you? What was the reason
I
behind?
think it is a very high ranked university. Mostly they look for a 9.0 plus CGPA, I think, which
Okay.
I didn't have. Also, it is a very much research based, I think, research focused university. I didn't have that much research experience, to be honest. Yeah.
Okay. So
I
while
haven't published papers, so that's why maybe.
okay. So
Yeah.
while we are at it and talking about the college shortlisting and making a decision about which college you want to apply to, where do you want to go in,
Mhm.
I want to tell our viewers and I want to tell Saurabh as well. We have a very interesting service, which is the student review service on our web portal.
Okay.
Just visit collegedunia.com and you'll see there is if you search any university, you'll find
Mhm.
actual reviews, actual feedbacks from the
That's
alumni
great. Yeah.
and from the current students who are studying there, and those reviews are very detailed and are very they are also moderated as well from our internal team, because we believe in authentication of
Mhm.
every information that we provide on our web portals, right?
Mhm.
So go check it out. It might help you in your decision making.
That's great. That's a great tool. Yeah.
Right. So now we are at it. Let's now move on to your campus life. How was your first experience once you landed?
So the thing is, my campus is very huge. It's like 4,000 plus acres.
Oh,
It has a golf field inside it. So the first day I came to campus, it was so the semester hadn't started yet. So there were not many students, and it was a huge campus. So I was like, is it going to be like this every day? Like, such a huge, like so empty and everything. But yeah, the students started showing, after the semester started. And campus is great. It has a lot of trees. It has a lot of, buildings which are architecturally beautiful, aesthetically beautiful. Yeah.
okay, okay. How was your first experience once you landed in Texas A&M University?
So the first thing I noticed was such a huge campus. Like campuses in India aren't usually that huge. So this Texas A&M University campus is like more than 4,000 acres in size. So it
Oh,
was, yeah. So I was seeing on the map, and traveling was a different things. Like I
hmm,
always, so after my college was finalized, I used to see the campus on the maps and everything, but I never realized how huge it would be in reality. So it was like
right,
a reality check for that. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Acha, so now that we have already heard about your first experience, how is the campus life over there?
So campus life is pretty good. Like there are a lot of events which go on. There are like both educational and for fun.
Okay,
There are some career sessions which go on every weekend or like every week. There are also other events like so the events held by some associations to do interactions between students and help them know each other, like
right.
networking events. So it's a lot of fun. We get to learn about each other and about people from different countries and backgrounds. Yeah.
Hmm. So, is your university only about studies, and hard studies, or is it is
No,
it
no.
a mix?
So we have a lot of events like right now for the spring semester has just started. We have a Howdy Week in which there are a lot of games and everything. So yesterday we had an event in a recreation center, like which it's like the sports center of the university. So there were different sports like swimming competitions and everything going on. Yeah,
Hmm, hmm.
it was fun.
Okay. Do you have some Indian students around you?
Yeah, there are a lot of Indian students. Like Indian community is one of the largest foreign students communities in Texas A&M universities.
Oh, tell me more about it. Like, in your batch or in your class, how many Indian students do you have?
So my batch in civil engineering doesn't have that many Indian students, to be honest. Like for a batch size of 40, we have 15 Indian students about. But in other departments like computer science, there were 98 to 99% Indians. In industrial engineering, there are mostly Indians. 95, 90, 96% Indians are there. So in
Interesting.
that, and industrial has a batch size of 200.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so that those many Indian students are there in just one batch.
So your answer justifies the saying that we Indians are
Yeah,
present. Actually, we are
yeah,
present
we are
everywhere.
present everywhere. It doesn't feel so we have Indians all around me. Like all my roommates are Indians, so it
Hmm.
doesn't feel that much. Yeah.
We'll come to your accommodation once, but I just want to
Okay.
know about your batch a little more detail. Uh,
Okay.
Apart from Indian students, what is the ratio of other students as well? With
So
whom are you interacting basically?
so mostly I interact with Indian students or the other. I interact with everyone, to be honest, but it's
Hmm.
mostly with the Indian students or some of the local students here. So the American students are more than Indian students in my batch, but
Okay.
there are also some students from the other countries, like from Lebanon,
Hmm.
from Central American countries,
Hmm.
and like that. Yeah.
Okay. So while we are discussing about your university, I want you to tell me your 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 one challenge that you faced during the first 6 months of your course. And yes, please go ahead.
So the study approach is very different here than in India. So it took a lot of time to get used to it. Like it isn't just one exam, you study for it and it's done in like in India. Like there are repeated assignments, and the assignments are very beneficial because once you get used to doing the assignments, you know what is coming on the exams and everything. But it takes time getting used to it. So that was very tricky at the start, but I've gotten used to it now.
Okay. Let's talk about these assignments. You've already studied in India and you're now studying in US as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
So what kind of assignments do professor provide you over there? Like, if you can maybe tell your last assignment or your last project that you worked upon.
So the last project I did last semester, I'll tell you about one of the projects. It was about a bridge design. So basically, we had to design a pre-stressed concrete bridge. Uh, uh, like it was like it's a very different approach from what we do in India. In India, we just use the formulas and everything. Here, it is done practically. Like what would be the factors, the different factors that come in, and everything. It's a very practical approach compared to the Indian approach.
Okay. And
So it was very,
yeah.
so it was very enlightened. So it was very good experience. Like we got to know like what is actually done on site, like on the construction site, instead of just doing it in a book. Like yeah.
Right. So it's not just theoretical; it's very practical,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Exactly. The approach is very practical. Yeah.
Okay. So, Saurabh, tell me one of the hardest assignments or projects that you have faced up until now.
So that was one of the hardest assignments because it was like the project took us 1 month to complete, and it was like 50 to 60 pages of just calculations.
Okay.
But yeah, like a lot of like we had to calculate thermal stresses and everything. It was a lot, but it was fun experience. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Glad that you had fun. Anyways, so these assignments, do you guys do it in a silo? Like, do you work upon it alone, or is there a group system over there?
So it depends on the professor what his requirements are on the course. So most of my assignments are individual because my course is very technical. But for example, this semester I have a course in which we have to do, like I talked, bridge design. We have to do bridge design in groups now. So we have to design the same thing using different approaches by different members in a group, and we can coordinate with each other. Like we can, help out and everything. So sometimes we have group assignments and sometimes we have individual assignments. It's nothing fixed like that.
Okay. All right. So you just told that your course is very technical. Now let's
Yeah.
come to your course details now.
Okay.
So what is the syllabus like? How does your course look like? If you can tell us about some topics that students can expect if they join Texas A&M University and if they join this course.
So I'll tell them some of the courses. So last semester I had a course called Structural Dynamics. It is all about the response of structures to earthquakes, lateral forces, and something like that. I had an elective on bridge engineering, which is design of bridges for different materials, like for concrete, pre-stressed concrete, steel, like the whole bridge design A to Z, from the slab, the beams, the piers, everything. Then I had a course on pre-stressed concrete, which is uh, both pre-stressed concrete in buildings and in bridges. This semester I have advanced steel design. I have finite element method, which is a complex course. Yeah.
Okay. Understood. So the course seems very, very technical, of course. Now let's talk about the people who are trying to teach you these courses, the professors, the faculties, right? How is the faculty different in US if you compare it to India?
So the faculty
is there any difference?
Yeah. There's a huge difference. Like the faculty here, I think, at least according to me, much more helpful, or focused on doing the work practically than in India. Like for example, we had one assignment last semester, and a lot of students couldn't solve that assignment. So on the day it was due, we had a class, and like the professor got an idea that he was helping, he was doing some doubts regarding the assignment, and he got an idea that most of the students aren't able to understand. So he shifted the assignment due date. It was like I don't want you to submit the assignment just for the sake of it. I want you to understand what you're doing. I want you to know exactly that and then submit it.
Right, right, right. Do you have
So
any?
it helps you learn a lot. Yeah.
Hmm. So do you have any favorite faculty over there? Do you want to give a shout out to some particular professor or maybe?
So there's a professor called Dr. Mander. He's a
Okay.
very senior professor,
Mhm.
and he's very helpful. He's always helpful in solving doubts and everything.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Great, great, great. So about your university, what are the other popular courses that your university provide if you have any information?
So the most popular course I think is industrial
Okay,
engineering
okay.
and computer science engineering. There's also cyber security.
Mhm.
There's chemical engineering.
Hmm, hmm.
But I think the most famous one or the most popular one will be industrial. It has a
Okay,
huge batch size, 200 students, like I earlier told.
right, right. Okay, okay. All right. So now let's talk about the expenses that you are incurring. We'll
Okay.
start from courses and then we'll move towards your accommodation and your living
Sure.
expense as well. Talking
Okay.
about the course that you are studying right now,
Yeah.
what is the fee structure over there?
So the tuition fee is basically $25,600 per year. That is
Okay,
without the fellowship. Yeah.
okay, okay. And let's say with the fellowship, what is the number?
So with the fellowship, we get to about $15,000. Like there's a $10,000 get deducted. Yeah.
Okay, okay. All right, all right, all right. And how are you funding your studies right now? Like, are you
So I have
funding
an
it?
education loan to fund my studies.
Okay. Can you maybe tell me something about it? Where did you take the loan from?
It's from a government bank, Bank of India.
Okay. And what is the
Yeah.
interest rate?
While I was applying, it was at about 8.35. But I think
Okay.
it changed. Like this year, there's been a lot of change in the interest rates. So I
Hmm.
think it must have changed. Yeah.
Okay.
While I
All
was
right.
applying, I think it was 8.35.
What would you prefer, Saurabh? I mean, what would you advise the aspirants? Should they go for education loan from government banks or from private banks?
So it entirely depends upon the applicant and his profile. Like it's too much, nothing fixed like that. You can't say like that.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Understood. So I would like to point out here, if any of our viewers have any queries when it comes to education loan or when it comes to uh, uh, course details or university details, there is a link in our description. You can always click on that link, just fill out your basic details, and we have some industry experts. They'll reach out to you in just 48 to 72 hours. And no, we do not charge anything for you. There is no hidden cost there applied. So yeah, you can always connect with our experts for any information needed. Okay. So now moving forward with your accommodation, your living expense, and so on. Uh,
Mhm.
Once you landed at Texas A&M University, what was your accommodation? Where were you living?
So I'm living at an apartment complex called Gateway.
Hmm.
Basically live in a 4 BHK apartment. So
Okay.
I have three roommates. We have four individual rooms to ourselves.
Mhm.
Yeah. The rent is about $375 per month.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So your roommates are all Indians, or are they?
Yeah. So my roommates are Indians. Like one of my roommates is in the same course. So we were the first ones to meet, and then we interacted with some other students who had got admits.
Hmm.
Finalized roommates accordingly.
Okay, okay. Is it easy to find apartments over there, or on-campus accommodation is better? Like, give me a comparison between off-campus.
No, I'd say off campus is better. You have a lot of flexibility off
Why?
campus. Off campus is very cheaper also.
Okay. And is it just about the cost? Like, is it very just about the cheap cost, or some other
Yeah,
thing?
I'd say it's about the cost for me.
Okay. So do
And also, yeah.
you think on-campus accommodation is might be a little restricted with some basic rules and regulations जैसा इंडिया में होता है basically
Yeah,
hostel.
I don't think there are rules that much.
Hmm.
But generally, graduate students don't stay on-campus for, accommodations.
Hmm.
Generally, it's an unwritten rule. Like graduate students stay outside only. I don't know about the restrictions, to be honest. Yeah.
Okay. So, tell me something like how did you find your accommodation? Like you were new to the US.
So,
तो हुआ क्या था?
so,
किसने help करी?
so one of my batchmates had come a semester before me. One of my batchmates from undergrad, he had
Okay.
come a semester before me, and I got to know that he's here. After getting my admit, I contacted him. I was looking at 2 to 3 options for apartments, but since he was staying in the same complex, like he gave good reviews about it. I was like, yeah, let's finalize this only. I talked with my roommates whom I had already decided. Like roommates were decided earlier. We were looking for the apartment together. So we finalized this, and we also got a good deal because we signed the lease early. So
Okay.
that was one of the reasons. Yeah.
Okay. So, if I want your advice on this, let's say there is an aspirant who is just landing in the US. Is there
Okay.
any common group or community that a student might join to get accommodated?
Yeah, so the Texas A&M University has a great Indian student community called IGSA, Indian Graduate Students Association. They create WhatsApp groups every year for the admitted students every semester. So
Okay.
we can join that. Also, there are always groups on WhatsApp made for uh, specific courses. Like there was a separate group for civil engineering, and also according to regions, there was a group for Maharashtra, for Gujarat. So you can join those groups. You get those links from somewhere. It's just from Facebook or somewhere else. I
Hmm.
got so if you join one group, you automatically get links for the other groups. Like they keep circulating on WhatsApp. So yeah, but IGSA group was one of the most helpful groups.
Acha, okay. So this IGSC group, am I pronouncing it right? IGSC?
Yes.
Okay. So
Yes.
this IGSC group, what is the conversation like happening in this whole group? क्या बातें होती हैं तुम लोग?
So basically, what to bring, what not to bring, about the reviews of some apartment complexes, like where can we finalize the lease, like most of the times they are just like anyone from this department, anyone from that, about visas, because after that then the visa process starts. So sometimes visa process के भी काफी सारे discussions उन्हीं group पे होते हैं.
अच्छा, okay.
इट्स लाइक अ लॉट ऑफ मिक्स्ड बैग. ऐसे कुछ स्पेसिफिक नहीं होता है, सब होता है उधर. जो भी डाउट्स होते हैं स्टूडेंट्स को प्रोसेस में, एडमिट्स के बाद के प्रोसेस में, वो उधर क्लियर होते हैं.
अच्छा, तो इन ग्रुप्स के एडमिन्स कौन होते हैं? मतलब who is running this community?
सो आईजीएससी का स्टूडेंट बॉडी जैसे रहता है, प्रेसिडेंट रहता है, ऐसा सब, मतलब पूरा स्टूडेंट बॉडी रहता है. उनमें से कोई हैंडल करते हैं. दे क्रिएट द ग्रुप, दे स्प्रेड द लिंक एवरीवेयर. लाइक फेसबुक पे किसी ना किसी ग्रुप पे आ जाता है, तो वो लोग हैंडल करते हैं.
अच्छा, ओके, ठीक है. ऑल राइट. I think these information are very helpful for our viewers, for a student who might be thinking about studying in the US or might has just landed. I think all this information is very crucial. Okay.
Also, IGSA TAMU has a website you can search up, and you can get the links and lot of helpful information from there. Like visa process का भी काफी helpful information I got from there only.
Okay, all right. ठीक है. So while we were discussing about accommodation, I just want to quickly know on-campus accommodation का cost कैसा है? What is the on-campus
accommodation? मुझे लगता है, like when I was searching, I remember I saw $700 to $600 plus.
Achha.
So that was what we saw, and that was expensive.
Exactly, it's like twice. Double the size.
Twice what I'm paying.
Right, okay.
Almost twice.
Okay.
And here I have individual rooms. Sometimes on campus में share करना पड़ सकता है. Here it's semi furnished, so it's better like that.
Semi furnished apartment में आपको क्या क्या मिला?
तो मुझे रेफ्रिजरेटर, ओवन, कुकटॉप, वो सब मिलता है. माइक्रोवेव मिलता है. लाइक बेड फ्रेम मिल जाता है. मैट्रेस भी मिल जाता है. जस्ट हैव टू बाय द पिलो एंड द बेड शीट्स. Study table, cupboards, everything is there. चेयर वेयर सब होता है. So I don't have to buy a lot of things. हाँ. So that's very convenient because already you're stressed from coming here. You don't want to spend your time searching for things and everything. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So now we are talking about accommodation as well. So I wanna discuss कि because हमारे Indians के कुछ daily chores होते हैं. We have to do the laundry. सबके ही होते हैं, right? Laundry वगैरह करना है, खाना वगैरह हमें बनाना ही है. So what is your drill in US? How do you figure out your laundry and your food? Do you eat outside? Do you cook for yourself? Are you
नहीं, outside तो नहीं होता है. It's काफी expensive. So first time I ate outside since coming here was like last week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Why so?
Yeah, first proper meal. Like I have gone to McDonald's to have fries or something, but proper meal last week I went outside. Yeah.
तो why
I
so?
went to
इतने
pizza
टाइम
place.
बाद
Yeah.
क्यों?
हाँ.
इतने टाइम बाद क्यों?
अभी भी माइंड में वो डॉलर टू रुपीस कन्वर्जन चालू रहता है. तो दिमाग में वो नहीं होता है, सेट नहीं होता. अभी थोड़ा आदत हो रहा है. ठीक है, अभी जो है वो है. पार्ट टाइम अभी है तो थोड़ा हो जाता है.
Okay. Part-time jobs is a very interesting topic. We'll come to this in a matter of minutes, right? But okay, so how are you figuring out your laundry? खुद से आप कपड़े
तो लकीली लॉन्ड्री तो हमारा सेमी फर्निश्ड है, तो वॉशिंग मशीन और ड्रायर भी हमारे अपार्टमेंट में ही है. सो वी 4 roommates share that machine and we do it once or twice a week. Yeah.
Okay. That's really nice.
Yeah.
And because it is your rented apartment, I don't think there will be any restrictions involved.
नहीं, no restrictions. कुछ नहीं. We can use whenever we want. Anything, nothing like that.
Okay. All right. Now let's jump towards your whole application process. So हमने बात कर ली about your research, about your university, about your course, and about your accommodation as well. But how did your application process look like? कहाँ से start हुआ था? What were the exams that you gave? फिर visa process के बारे में please elaborate.
So the first thing I did was prepare for GRE, give the GRE exams. Then I gave the IELTS exams. And after the GRE and IELTS scores, I got an idea from the scores and from checking some websites and everything कि भाई अभी ये colleges मिल सकते हैं, इनमें admit आ सकता है. So I shortlisted 8 to 10 universities. It was a prior shortlist. So उन 8-10 में से मैंने 6 को apply करने वाला हूँ. So I started preparing for the SOPs and LORs. Then I contacted my college professors. I requested them for LORs. After that I created a resume, like a proper resume. Resume तो होता है हमेशा, लेकिन इधर पूरा अलग ही फॉर्मेट होता है इधर अप्लाई करते वक्त. So वो फॉर्मेट में रहना चाहिए resume. वो सब प्रिपेयर होने के बाद I created an Excel sheet of all the. So when I shortlisted, I created an Excel sheet of all the colleges which had the deadlines, their requirements. For my application window, some of the colleges had waived GRE. So I also had that, which colleges require GRE, which colleges I have to send scores of GRE and IELTS. What was their minimum requirements? Like some colleges ask for 2 SOPs, 2 LORs, sorry. Or some colleges ask for 3. So I have to, basically sort accordingly and apply accordingly. Also, their deadlines are different. They also think called priority deadlines here. So priority deadlines, if you apply within those deadlines, there's increased chance that you'll receive fundings like fellowships or assistantships. So I focused on that. I wanted to, apply within the priority deadline and then did that. Basically it's around 15 December I think is priority deadline for most of the colleges. Deadline or priority deadline, whatever, for most of the colleges.
For most of the colleges in US?
In US. European colleges have a later application. Like it's a window थोड़ा late होता है उनका. US colleges का थोड़ा earlier होता है.
अच्छा, okay. So you gave us a very brief exposure about your application process. Now I'll touch up one topic,
Okay.
right?
Sure.
I want to
Yeah.
discuss first about your SOP and LORs. GRE,
Okay.
no, Saurabh, I would like to change my question. So
So,
first, I would like to talk about your GRE preparations. Can you give students some tips about how did you go about it?
so the most helpful books were books were from 5LB, I think. If I'm not wrong, the 5LB book. It's
Hmm.
very Manhattan's 5LB book. I think it's very famous, and that is the most helpful. I think it has a lot of practice questions. There are
Oh,
also 8 books from Manhattan for GRE prep. They are very helpful.
okay.
Like those were the ones which increased my mock scores a lot. So yeah,
कितने घंटे पढ़ना पड़ेगा आपके जैसे GRE स्कोर के लिए?
ऐसा घंटों में तो नहीं बोल सकते, लेकिन रेगुलर यू हैव टू बी रेगुलर, क्योंकि कैसा रहता है जीआरई में वोकैबुलरी में इतने वर्ड्स इतना सब रहता है कि यू हैव टू कीप प्रैक्टिसिंग इट रेगुलरली, अदरवाइज यू कीप फॉरगेटिंग इट अगेन एंड अगेन समटाइम्स.
राइट राइट.
So
GRE में
it's more about being regular, yeah.
ओके ओके ओके. सो GRE में क्वांट एंड वर्बल में आपके कितने स्कोर थे?
मेरा क्वांट में 161, वर्बल में भी 161.
अच्छा, ओके ओके,
हाँ.
वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग. गॉट इट. सो अभी GRE का एग्जाम दे दिया, अब SOP एंड LORs लिखना है, राइट? लैंग्वेज प्रोफिशिएंसी भी आपने आइल्स दिया, वेयर यू स्कोर्ड एन 8 बैंड, राइट?
8 बैंड, यस.
आइल्स के लिए कुछ आप टिप्स देना चाहोगे स्टूडेंट्स को?
आइल्स के लिए मोस्टली यू शुड, जीआरई प्रेप हो गया है अगर, तो आइल्स इज comparatively easier because you already get used to the vocabulary in using the words which they need, which they want to be discussed or anything. Yeah, so I'd say focus on listening, reading, because that's the easier sections. Then you have a lot of scoring chances. Focus more on that for prep. Yeah.
And why did you give IELTS and why not TOEFL?
So actually, I wasn't fixed about my country of applications earlier. So I had given IELTS because of that. Like I was confused between Europe and USA. Later on, I finalized USA, but because of that, I gave IELTS to be on the safer side. So that I can apply both places.
Okay, okay. Now let's come upon your SOP and LORs. Do you have your SOP saved with you right now? Maybe you can screen share and show the students. If that's possible, if it's not possible, that's completely fine.
I actually don't have them, to be honest. Yeah.
So how did your SOP look and how did your LOR look?
Oh, SOPs, it took a lot of time to prepare it. It was about 800 words, I think. It was basically about what, so SOP is basically what you have done till now, what you want to do, what's your statement of purpose. The meaning is, what's your purpose of pursuing a master's? What's your, what have you done till now? Like, what are the projects you have done? What is the research work you have done? What is the, if you have any job experience, that gets added on. It basically gives you, it's basically a short story about yourself, which the person who is on the admissions team reads. If they like you, then you get shortlisted, then you get admits and everything. Yeah, so it's one of the things. Yeah.
Okay.
And the LORs were written by my professors. So I got LORs from one of my project guides, one was from my internship guide, one was from my other professor who had taught me a lot of subjects. So it gives you it's basically a letter or a recommendation from the professor, what he thinks about you, and which helps the admissions team understand your profile. And yeah.
Achha, okay, all right. So you gave your exams, SOP and LOR figure out हो गए. Visa process कब start करा आपने आप?
Visa process I started in April, I think, because already उस time visas का काफी issue था. Already अभी भी issue चालू है और उस time भी बहुत था.
April which year?
April of 2022, I think. Yeah.
And when did you give your GRE exam?
GRE I had given in 2021 July or August.
अच्छा.
So basically, due to COVID,
almost एक साल
Yeah,
का gap था GRE
mm,
exam and then visa process के.
exactly, exactly.
अच्छा, okay, ठीक है. So you
तो
started
हाँ,
your visa process in April.
April 2020, in April I started, like this DS 160 form which is to be filled. There's all the other forms. After that, the most important and testing thing was waiting for the slot to open and so that I can book a slot.
Right.
And I was, yeah, it was the slot I got was for July end, no, June end, I think. Yeah, June end.
अच्छा. तो
It was in Mumbai. Yeah.
ओके. तो अप्लाई करा वीजा के लिए एंड फिर कितने टाइम बाद आपका वीजा आ गया था, या एक स्टूडेंट कितने टाइम बाद एक्सपेक्ट करे कि वीजा आ जाएगा?
तो वीजा तो लाइक पोस्ट से आता है जनरली. मतलब अगर दूसरे सिटीज में तुम रहते हो, तुम्हें ऑप्शन रहता है पोस्ट से चाहिए या यू विल कलेक्ट इट फ्रॉम द कॉन्सुलेट. सो बेसिकली if they keep it's that if they keep your passport at the end of the interview, you consider that you've got the visa. They tell you that you've got the visa, and after that I think 5 to 6 days में आ जाता है वीजा, पासपोर्ट ऑन वीजा.
अच्छा.
आफ्टर द इंटरव्यू. या
ओके, 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 ऑलराइट. So great, Saurabh. We have talked about your application process. Is there something else that you want to specifically point out about application process, or should we move on?
nothing specific, like just research your university as well, know what exactly is taught and what to mention in the SOPs and everything. Prepare. SOP and LORs are one of the most important things, I think. It takes a lot of time. Spend that time, takes time, but it's worth it.
Okay, okay, all right. So for any research, to the viewers that are seeing this video, for any research, if you want to have some reference, you can always visit collegedunia.com, right? And okay, all right. Now let's move forward with the because you are incurring some very high expenses. So abhi, what is the job scenario? Part-time jobs, yeah, freelance, yeah. What's happening? Internships. Tell me something about your part-time jobs and internships.
So I'm working at a football stadium here. यूनिवर्सिटी के अंदर खुद का फुटबॉल स्टेडियम है. So there I work as a cashier. I also work at the basket. Like I work for a company which handles all the games. So I work as a cashier at the basketball stadium, football stadium, and all that. You have games like once a week or twice a week, something like that. Yeah.
अच्छा, okay. तो cashier के form में आप फिर कितना, how much can you earn? How much can you make?
So it depends. तो basic pay तो $10 per hour रहता है. उसके ऊपर it depends on the tips.
अच्छा, okay. How much?
Tips ही सब. Tips is the most important thing in this position, I think, because it more than the some games, more than the per hour pay we get in tips.
Right.
It all depends on the games and how the customer's mood is. Like if you're winning a game, the customers are more inclined to give tips. Yeah.
Right. On-campus part-time jobs के अलावा, what are the other options for students?
No, on-campus के अलावा options नहीं है, because in US you can't work off-campus.
अच्छा.
Legally, yeah.
अच्छा.
So in USA you can only work on-campus part-time jobs. There's a
अच्छा.
rule like that, and it is maximum of 20 hours per week.
Okay. So what if अगर किसी स्टूडेंट को फ्रीलांस करना है, या किसी स्टूडेंट को maybe they want to become a content creator or something like that, is that allowed?
So legally it's not allowed, I think. Because तुम्हारा visa का it's issued on some conditions, and that states that you're here for education and not for work, like that.
Okay.
Like internship का फिर अलग प्रोसेस होता है. internship का तुम्हारा CPT करके प्रोसेस होता है. Through that you can work outside.
Tell me something about it.
So internships, basically you can do internships in summer or winter. Basically internships are done after 2 semesters. After you have spent 2 semesters here.
Okay. All right. And internships, आपको कैसे, is there a dedicated platform to find internship?
So at our university we have career fairs, a lot of career fairs. So we have a career fair for engineering next week, which I'm preparing for.
Okay.
Fortunately, our department also has a separate career fair for only civil engineering companies. So
अच्छा.
a lot of companies come here there. So the main thing is in the career fairs you have to go to the companies have stalls like they're sort of like exhibitions. The
Hmm.
companies people some people 2 or 3 people from the company come there. You can go talk to them about the positions,
Hmm.
tell them about yourself, give them a resume,
Hmm.
and discuss. And basically it depends on how your conversation goes.
Hmm.
If they are and most of the times they tell you to apply online, but having a good conversation matters a lot because if they have a, if they if they're inclined towards it, then they can sometimes I've heard that they give the offers for internships there and there.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And ये time period of internships कितना हो सकता है? What is?
तो जनरली 3 मंथ्स होता है क्योंकि सेमेस्टर मई स्टार्ट में खत्म होता है।
Hmm.
स्प्रिंग सेमेस्टर मई स्टार्ट में खत्म होता है और अगला फॉल सेमेस्टर होता है अगस्त में चालू। सो 3 मंथ्स अराउंड 3 मंथ्स होते हैं इंटर्नशिप समर के वाले।
अच्छा, okay. तो internships में PPO वगैरह मिलते हैं? Do you think that
हाँ,
happens?
मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम्स एट आवर यूनिवर्सिटीज आई हैव हर्ड दैट स्टूडेंट्स हु डू इंटर्नशिप्स मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम्स दे गेट अ पीपीओ।
Okay, okay. That's very nice. That's very helpful. Okay. And what about the full-time job scenario? So I have one very interesting question now because we are
ओके
hearing that US market is in recession now. So what
ओके
do you think अभी recession का क्या effect चल रहा है US में? Do you have any perspective about that?
वेरी बैड टू बी ऑनेस्ट। लिंक्डइन खुलते ही आई हैव बीन फायर्ड ऐसे सब पोस्ट दिख जाते हैं।
Hmm.
सो इट्स वेरी like it's a difficult feeling.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
So अभी what do you think ये जो थोड़ा सा tricky situation चल रहा है US में and in other countries as well. What do you think अभी ये कितना time रहेगा and
no idea to be honest. It
okay,
all depends. Yeah.
okay. Do you have any plan to tackle recession and find a decent job for yourself? What are your plans regarding full-time job?
Basically, just finding a good internship and ensuring that I get a PPO
Okay,
in the internship. Yeah. Prepare. Yeah.
okay, okay. All right. So when will your course end?
So my course ends in April 2024. It's a 2-year course.
Okay, okay. So I really hope कि तब तक तो market situation would be a lot
Yeah,
better.
that's what we are hoping for.
Right.
अभी मार्केट थोड़ा डाउन है, मतलब काफी डाउन है।
Hmm.
By that time, I hope that it improves.
Yeah, yeah, it will improve definitely, definitely. So, had it been a normal situation, what is the average placement in your university? Average salary वगैरह कितने लगती है students की when they get placed?
Oh, it varies a lot according to the course you're doing. So for my course, it is about $75,000 per annum.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, that's the 70 to 75. That's the average for my course.
अच्छा.
But computer science and industrial have a different pay scale and everything. Yeah, I
So
don't have
for,
any idea about that.
for
Yeah.
your course, what are the top companies जो recruit करती हैं आपके university के students को?
Jacobs, Tech,
अच्छा,
Content Tomacity,
अच्छा.
WSP, Walter P. Moore. These are all top firms which recruit from
And
our university.
एंड जैसे इंडिया में होता है मास रिक्रूटर एक आता है कॉलेज एंड वो बहुत सारे बच्चे उठा के लेके जाता है इज दिस द सेम
I don't think there's the thing here.
ओके बट इज
वो
देयर
वो
एनी
यहाँ नहीं।
कंपनी इज देयर एनी कंपनी जो मे बी थोड़ा सा मास रिक्रूटर टाइप एक्ट करती होगी
To be honest, मुझे भी एक ही सेमेस्टर हुआ है, so मुझे भी अभी तक आइडिया नहीं है ऐसा कोई है क्या।
ओके ओके
हाँ
सो आपकी सीनियर्स वगैरह से बात होती है आपके यूनिवर्सिटी
हाँ
पे
या
ओके ठीक है ऑलराइट सो हाउ हेल्पफुल आर योर सीनियर्स when it comes to finding a job or finding an internship?
So seniors are very helpful. Like US में reference system is one of the most important things. Like internships and full-time positions के लिए भी referrals matter a lot. So in all the applications here, there's a section which asks if you have a referral from one of the current employees.
Okay.
And sometimes if the employees have good relations with you, they can also write a letter of endorsement or something like that.
Right.
So it's very helpful. Like it gives you an edge,
Hmm.
and yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I'll always say that keep good connections with your seniors.
Hmm.
They're
Hmm.
very helpful. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm. Acha, so my next question, thoda sa, it is going to be a far-fetched question, but
Okay.
try answering. So, what do you think by the end of 2024 or by the end of your course, what kind of salary package are you expecting to get in US?
To be honest, सिविल में इतना चेंज नहीं होता ईयर ऑन ईयर.
अच्छा.
सो अराउंड 75,000 80,000 ही एक्सपेक्ट करूंगा मैं.
अच्छा.
सिविल में इतना ड्रास्टिक चेंज नहीं होता है ईयर ऑन ईयर.
Okay, okay, okay. And let's say अगर यही same course आप इंडिया से pursue कर रहे होते, what would be the salary quotient that you would be looking after the course completion? कुछ compare कर सकते हो क्या कुछ?
इनकम्पेरेबल है, बहुत कम होगा.
Right,
लाइक
right.
या इट्स वेरी लेस, मतलब बहुत कम है इंडिया में. मतलब सिविल के सम ऑफ द यूनिवर्सिटीज पास आउट सब गुड, लाइक आईआईटीज वालों को मिल जाते हैं फिर भी. बाकी इधर तो बहुत कम.
Right, right. Okay, okay. So, cool. I really hope by the end of 2024, you come up with a very great job, and I get to see
Fingers crossed.
I
Yeah.
get to see your LinkedIn post as well regarding that.
Sure.
Right? Cool.
Sure.
Okay. So now let's try and conclude this whole conversation. Saurabh, you gave us a lot of information, right? And there are still a lot of questions that have been unanswered, and we'll try to cover everything in this whole series of student interviews. But trying to conclude, do you have any tips or any advices for a student who is starting his study abroad journey?
Research, like I told earlier, is the most important thing. Keep talking with your seniors. Like before coming here, I talked to a lot of seniors about which are actually the colleges which I should apply to and everything. So research is the most important thing according to me. Researching about the universities and everything, and doing the applications in time so that you know you get the before the priority deadlines. That's very helpful.
Right. Okay. Okay, Saurabh, it was lovely talking to you today. You gave us a lot
It was
of
a pleasure. Yeah.
You gave us a lot of information. Thank you so much for giving your time. You have a very good day ahead. And to the viewers who are watching, if you want to have a conversation with Saurabh, I'll ask Saurabh to pass on his LinkedIn URL to us. We'll mention it in the description box below. You can just go have a conversation with Saurabh and get your queries resolved. For more detailed query resolution, for more detailed queries, if you want to ask something, we have our industry experts present at all times. You can click on the first link in our description. Just fill out your basic details, and our experts will reach out to you in just 48 to 72 hours. Thank you so much, Saurabh. You have a great day ahead.
Thank you. Great talking to you.